Do that again. Move the door. You've done it before. Do it again for us, please. It's opening. Open it more. You can do it. Just a little bit more. Oh my God, it's opening more.
Keep coming.
Come on. Holy crap! Oh my God.
Alright, good afternoon everybody. Thanks for coming out. Finally got some decent weather, although I think the wind is trying to blow us all away. My name is Maggie Gray and I'm the president of HASFR, the Historical and Archaeological Society of Fort Riley. So when I moved here almost 3 years ago, and when I found out that we were coming to Fort Riley and started doing the research on it, learned about the history, thought it was super cool. Then we learned we were going to be living in historic housing, found out about the ghost stories, and was super fascinated, super excited. And then when I got here, learned about HASFR and the ghost tours, and I just thought there was so much there and just a lot of fun things. So when I became president last year, one of the first things I wanted to do was figure out how we get a paranormal investigation done. So after getting approval from Garrison, has to start there, I didn't know anything about paranormal investigating, so I went straight to like the TV show guys because that's the only ones I know, and didn't hear anything. So for a long time, and then, you know, the time passed, and finally one day, I think I was just sitting in my kitchen, and I was like, well, maybe there's some in Kansas, and I looked up paranormal investigators in Kansas, and Old School Paranormal popped up, and I was like, cool. After looking at their Facebook page and their web page, I just liked what I saw, that it wasn't trying to be salacious, and it wasn't trying to make things that aren't there. It's just legitimately using equipment to research, and I was like, this is perfect. And they got back to me right away when I reached out to them, and they're like, yes, we would love to come to Fort Riley. Let's make it happen. So they came out in November, and we did the investigation of both sides of the Custer House, the museum side and HASFR side, and then just happened that the Triangle House, which is just right down the road over here, both sides were empty. So we got to be in both sides of that house, and actually we're going to do another investigation tonight, so stay tuned for that. So anyway, they have come from Hays, Kansas to do this, and so, you know, please welcome, we've got Steve, Scott, Neil, and Kevin, and please give them a warm Fort Riley welcome.
We talk loud enough, so if you can't hear us, a little closer. We're Old School Paranormal. We are out of Hays, Kansas. I know probably a lot of you are not from Kansas. We're about 2 hours west of here, right on I-70. So before we talk a little bit about ourselves, about our team, what we're going to do is we're going to show you a clip, a really quick clip from the investigation that we did November 10th, 2018 that Maggie was just talking about. We're going to show you that, and then we're going to tell us a little bit about ourselves, who we are, what our day jobs are, and then we'll go from there.
This ain't good. Draft blew right past me. It was like went right through me. This was like a knock.
Yeah. We're all here, so the gang's all here.
Yeah. Somebody down here?
Oh, there it is again.
Come out, wherever you are.
What is your teddy bear's name? We need you to give us a clear sign.
Interesting stuff going on. name's Kevin. I'm gonna come up here and just visit. There's Wi-Fi or something. No EMF upstairs anywhere.
Test. Check.
Okay, so what you saw there was us setting up, and we wish it went that fast to set things up, but it takes, depends on where we're at. I think for this particular investigation, it took us a couple hours at least to get everything set up.
Yeah, good couple hours.
Good couple hours. So, like I said, we're Old School Paranormal out of Hays, Kansas. My name is Steve Stoltz. I'm the lead investigator on this particular case. Maggie's right. She contacted us. What was that? August? August, you contacted us. I couldn't believe it because I've always wanted to come here, but didn't really know how. You know, because I know you need clearance, and so I wasn't quite sure how to go about that. So Maggie reached out to us. We responded right away. She reached out to us on a Thursday, and by Sunday we were here. The four of us drove out here and met with her and some of the other ladies from the house. So this isn't our day job. Hate to break it to you. We're not television stars. We're not trying to be television stars or anything like that. My day job, other than a husband and a father, the two boys are here, by the way. I am a human resource manager for a repair company in Hays, and I've been doing paranormal investigating now. I'm going on my 8th year. Everything's I love it because there are some times, like our investigation here at Fort Riley in November was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Tonight we're hoping it's just as cool, if not better. We've been to places, been kind of, there's nothing going on, but we've been to some places like, we gotta get back here as quickly as possible. And you just never know what you're gonna get. So I think that's enough about me. I'll introduce my younger, not quite as good looking brother, Scott, and let him show you guys the show.
Well, like Steve said, my name is Scott. I do want to tell you that I did leave Hays with all my teeth. And not right. Hamburger for A&W. But anyway, call me whatever. You can stack if you like. So yeah, I'll be taking care of that tomorrow. Day job, I'm a director of programs and services for an organization that provides services to individuals with intellectual disabilities. Been there for 27 years. Been doing this for about 5 years. Had no interest in it. Steve calls me up one night and says, "What are you doing?" Just hanging out. So ended up going on one with him, and been with him ever since. My nephews and sister-in-law are in the audience today. Don't, please don't. And I smile a lot, so I gotta apologize.
Photoshop a tooth in.
It's a bad deal. So anyway, I'll pass it on.
All right, my name is Kevin Sauer, again from Hays. I have been doing this about 4 years, I believe. How I came about was good old Steve there. I have to say, Steve was my church choir director. And we were leaving one night for church, and we started talking about it. And here I am, 4 years later. I've always been interested but never wanted to do this, if that makes sense. I'm the biggest chicken of the group. It took me like a year before I would go by myself to anywhere in a building. But I enjoy it. I get a lot of interesting things that have happened to me. Out of the group, I'm probably the most sensitive. Kind of, I don't know. Yeah. Nobody lost his tears. I feel really bad. There are times that weird things have happened. I can't explain it. Find it more intriguing each time I do it. So that's a little bit about me. Oh yeah, and I work at Fort Hays State University. I'm a software developer for the university.
My name is Dale Dreyer. The main reason they let me on the team is because they needed somebody old. So I've been the old school, I'm the oldest on the team. So. The reason I used to watch it at home a lot, just to go to adventures and whatnot. It was just interesting to me. And Scott and I have kids the same age and go to the same school, and we were, I believe, going to Garden City, I believe, for a baseball game. He said something about him and his brother and a couple other guys doing something, trying to get into this place in Garden City. And I said, what do you mean? Investigation? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Oh yeah, me and my brother, we do a little investigating. I said, why in the heck didn't you ask me? Well, they just happened to be looking for another guy, and after a grueling interview, they decided to let me on.
Wings and beer.
But anyway, I'm married. I have 2 kids. One is a senior at Fort Hays this year, and the other one is a freshman at Fort Hays this year. I work in the maintenance department, been there for 18 years, and I just really enjoy it. I love the camaraderie with these guys. We all get along very well, and it's just the paranormal interests us, and also the history behind the places we go. It really, it's probably 50-50, honestly. We love both the history and paranormal. And I just want to thank everybody for coming. Yeah, hopefully you enjoy it.
So, and that's a kind of good segue, Neil. There's plenty of chairs up here. You don't have to stand back there. There's 3 right over there. There's 3 up front. There's 2 here. We got plenty of room. Don't worry about us. We're going to keep talking. So, but it's a good segue in what Neil said. We appreciate everybody being here. I think we would be remiss if we didn't officially thank a whole lot of people. First and foremost, we want to thank Maggie Gray for reaching out to us. And not only Maggie, of course, she's the president of Hasper, but Laura Childs as well. Thank you, Laura. In fact, they were both on well, you probably saw them in that video just a few moments ago. You're going to see a whole lot more of them. And there was another young lady that was with us that night, Yasmin. She's Corvius. I lost the word there. I didn't see her tonight. But anyway, you're going to see a whole lot more of them here as we go on. So we want to thank Yasmin for being with us. We want to thank the Fort Riley Public Affairs Office. Maggie's done a lot of work to help us get here, not only back in November, but today as well. So we appreciate everybody's help with that. The Fort Riley Garrison Command, we want to thank those folks as well. First Infantry Division Post, so we'll give you 2.
We're both the same people.
Okay.
Well, internal and external.
Okay,
so.
All right. And then, and last but certainly not least, we want to thank the men and women of the armed forces, especially those here at Fort Riley, and not only the men and women who serve our country, but the wives, the spouses, the husbands, the children. We want to thank you as well for your service to our country. So we sincerely need.
So if you are currently serving, would you mind standing, or a spouse, or?
Everybody should stand. I think he missed the Fort Riley sign.
I know, okay, man, otherwise.
Okay, well, without further ado,
we're going to go ahead and start playing some clips for you. So Neil, this is yours. I guess, do you guys want to take your, you guys want to sit take your right?
Well, when we first got called, we talked about, you know, what we wanted to do first, and maybe where we thought would be the best place to start, and what might be had the most activity. And just from all the centuries of activity that people have reported over the years, we thought that the Custer House would probably be more active or really active, and so we were going to do that later in the evening. So we ended up starting at the Triangle House, which just, we didn't really know what to expect there, but as you'll see here, we were very pleasantly surprised by the activity that went on there.
And depending on what rod is lit, it detects where that static is coming from, and it moves and it follows that static. So they measure.
Like it moves? The rods move?
Yeah.
The rods light up. Oh, they light up.
That's the rim pod. I'm going to back up now a bit. And by backing up, it should slow down if it's us. Is somebody here with us? Can you step away from it, please? Or would you rather be closer? That's closer. That gets back like that. That's not strong enough to light off anymore. No, it's what gets me is there's no really light. I mean, I see a little flicker here and there.
You usually get really bright?
Yeah, so that time, yeah, it says it's barely breaking that barrier. Can you light up the device right next to it? No? Now the lights are starting to light up. Okay, hey, either get closer or back away.
Can you please step away? I'm going to throw out a K2 out there if I can noise one.
Whoa.
Is that okay if I come out here?
It's getting louder.
Okay, I'm going to come out here.
It's Laura and Maggie. We used to spend a lot of time here.
Do you recognize some ladies here? If you recognize them, step away.
We had Easter here.
We've never had that one go off like this before, ever.
No, and continuously, that's the...
No, because it technically resets itself.
That one just lit up. This one lit up.
Oh, your K2, the one you just put out there?
No, the Peggy one has gone off twice.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, it's gone off twice.
Okay.
How long was it before after you turned it on, and you would sit there?
10 minutes.
Okay, we really need you to step back away, please.
Did you guys hear something? Like a moan?
Yep, I did.
Yeah, that sounded like a
I
moan.
actually did hear something, Steve.
From what direction? I'm assuming that way.
Down here.
Okay.
I did hear, yes, I did.
Okay.
744.
744. Okay. Can you, if you just moan, can you do that again, please? What was that?
Yeah, I heard that.
I heard it too. It almost
I heard
stomach.
I heard it.
Stomach. Was that somebody's stomach?
It wasn't mine.
Can you make another noise for us, please?
Is there somebody in the hallway here?
keeps you here?
I heard that. Yeah. Yeah. It's almost just like that was just a girl and child looking at or something. I heard that.
So he has me because he moved over there. I think you heard it from this way.
Yes. Yeah.
And we want you to know that nobody is here to tell you to leave, to tell you to get out, to tell you to stop doing what you're doing. We're just simply here to find out maybe who you are, why you're here. We're not here to ask you to leave. We're not here to tell you to leave, and we mean no harm to you.
This ain't good. When I was at the staircase, draft blew right past me, probably 20 degrees below, colder than it was. I mean, it was like went right through me. I mean, I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just.
You alright?
Yeah, it was energy.
Okay.
It definitely was.
On the stairwell out there?
Yeah.
Stairwell?
I was in the stairwell.
Who was it?
It just went through me.
Who was it that just went through and introduced himself to Kevin?
So, a couple different things. The first part with the REM pod going off, I don't know, it's never done that before. We're not quite sure. We're not saying it's paranormal or it's a ghost or anything that's manipulating it, but it was very weird. It was almost like a big Price is Right, the big wheel. You spin, just, and that's what it sounded like to us. But
How many people are familiar with what a REM pod is?
So what this does, there's like a perimeter detection. If something gets close to the antenna, see, I'm probably about an inch away, starts going off. Closer I get. So something or some energy, and again, I'm not going to say something, energy or something like that, had to get close enough to set that off. And there's times this will not go off in an entire investigation.
Right. Or
it'll just go like that, like that. Most of the time that's what it does, is like that. We've never had it.
it creates a barrier. It
Yeah.
creates a barrier all around it, and so that thing was out in the middle of the floor. I think the closest, nobody was within 5 feet of that device, and I don't know. We're not sure.
Well, yeah, or to sit there and have zero activity, and then all of a sudden start going off, and then going off so steadily and increasingly quicker, I guess.
Yeah. So we're not quite sure what to think about that. We're not saying it's paranormal, but it's certainly.
It's odd, yeah, we've never had it happen before.
Oh, it's paranormal.
It's
Hey,
Can you change the barrier, like
no,
the
you cannot.
Nope, it's
No, but that's a great question, because sometimes environmental factors will increase the barrier or even decrease. I think if there's more humidity
Yes.
in the building, it's going to widen that perimeter around that antenna. There's sometimes, you get a fraction of an inch before it sets it off. Sometimes you can get within 6 or 7 inches and it will set it off. So it really depends on what the environment.
Right, and it's important to note that everything, all the equipment we use and everything that we do, it's purely speculative. In other words, nobody knows how to communicate with the other side for sure. It's all theory. Sorry, I thought this funny. I couldn't think of it. Next.
So, Scott's not going to do interviews today. The second part that would show, there were 3 distinct times that at least 2 of us heard what sounded like a voice, a moan, something very quick. It wasn't a sentence, and not even a word, but it was more of a, and it was more of a female.
Yes, I would say.
More of a female type of
I
voice.
believe it was like a little girl.
Or a little girl, exactly.
Very, yeah.
Yes, higher pitched voice. You're okay. And so that was the first one. Two of us heard it, and I know at least Neil and I heard it. But it wasn't picked up on a recorder. It was so faint. And then the second two that our audio recorders picked up. Now this won't be the first time at night that we picked up voices, and we'll play those.
Hey Steve, you want to explain what you meant by disembodied voice?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So when you pick up a voice, let's say you pick up a voice on an audio recorder, okay, but you don't hear it live, and you go back and listen to your recording, it's like, moly, there's a voice there. Nobody heard it. Nobody said, hey, I just heard a voice. Or that's called an EVP, electronic voice phenomenon. What a disembodied voice is something that it's a voice that's heard by at least two people in a group. Okay, that's a voice, but nobody knows where it's coming from. And our audio recorders picked it up as well. So an EVP is something that you don't hear live, but you hear when you play it back. And a disembodied voice is you hear live and you hear it when you play it back.
And then talk about last when we talk about that.
Yeah,
I'm here
go ahead, Kevin.
Because I'm live. All right, so the last part, you all see me coming to the door. I just had something go through me. I had been standing back in the basement by the staircase that goes up to the back. For some reason, I kept being drawn back there. This happens to me once in a while. I'll just feel like there's some reason I need to be in the area. And so that's why I wasn't with those guys. I was kind of doing my own little thing. And sure enough, all of a sudden, I probably 10 degrees cooler, jeez, sorry, just went right through me. Now, yeah, it could have been a draft, okay? I'm not saying it wasn't, or it was, but it definitely went right through me, and it felt like energy. Most of the time, when I get that feeling, like every single hair stands up my arms, and I got that from that instance. And of course, I go down there, tell them about it. So, and I'm a little shook up because I guess I wasn't ready for it. So, so that was my first time that evening. I had actually had one of those instances happen to me. So.
Let's go on the next one then, because we went from the basement up to the second floor.
So after that, we went up to the second floor, and then when we approached the stairs, a strange thing happened. There was a bedroom light on, and we are about 100% sure it was not on because we went lights off. That's what we call when you go into a building, we turn off every single light in the building. Some people ask why we do that. You know, I don't know if there's really a good reason, but
that's a cool environment.
It does set a cool environment. I mean, paranormal stuff doesn't happen in the dark always. I mean, it can happen during the daylight, everything. A lot of people also ask us why we do it at night, and the most common reason is we don't want to disturb businesses or people, or a lot of times we do, historic places. Well, a lot of times they're open during the day. Nighttime's perfect because usually the noise level is down, not as much street noise, et cetera, so that's why the nights work perfect. So we went upstairs and the lights were on. So again, we aren't for sure why that was, but the next clip is where we settled into a room where the light was already on for us.
Yes.
Sound like music.
Yes.
Like circusy music.
820 tag.
Right?
Like
ice cream trucky circusy?
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything.
Kind of out of season for ice cream trucks.
Where do you think it was coming from, Scott? Did you hear it?
I didn't hear it.
Where do you guys think it was
Was
coming
it just
from?
me?
No, I heard
okay,
it.
good.
Where did you think it was coming from, Sue?
Definitely that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Just on the landing, not straight down, but up the stairs. Looks like something's just off to the side.
Okay. Were you playing music?
Could it have been like a jewelry box type
Yeah,
music?
something. It was like something.
Guys, there's something.
Like what?
Go check it out, dude.
You want me to, can we
Do you want me to bring the camera?
I got a camera here.
Oh.
Oh my God. So I hear footsteps.
Oh.
Scott's behind me.
I got hot again. Now I'm sweating.
Yeah, it's hot here, yeah.
Really? It was so cold. Are you? I was hot in the basement, then I got cold.
You're cold.
And now
I
I'm hot
swear I
again.
see things moving.
Can you see my heat?
No, this isn't.
Oh.
Just break that light.
Neil, did you bring your thermal?
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know if it's light from outside or
That's definitely, now see, that's definitely from the street.
vehicle, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's 100%. Yeah, that's a vehicle. But that.
Somebody down there? Okay, so a couple things, like Kevin said, came up from the basement, and that one bedroom where that scene first started, that light was on, and like Kevin said, we're pretty thorough when it goes through making sure all the lights are off. And we noticed that almost right away before we even started ascending the stairs, that bedroom light was on. Don't know. We also heard music. I think both Maggie and Laura heard circusy, maybe like a music box. Very, very, very faint. In fact, you could barely hear it on the audio, but there was no, without wearing headphones, there's no way we could play it for you, because it would be really grainy and a lot of hissing and stuff to try to amplify that very, very faint noise. But we heard it. And then of course Scott scaring the tar out of me. I thought something was coming up behind me, and it was Scott. And he didn't do it intentionally, but it was
Or maybe.
or maybe.
We have a little fun with each other sometimes.
Yeah, we do.
Just for some random perspective, the side we were on is the side when you're looking at.
Yes, this
So
side.
this is the one. We went in both, but everything so far you heard.
Yeah, we started on, that was the B side, right? We started on the B side of, is anybody here lives, or knows somebody that lives in the triangle?
Know somebody. Yeah, the
Okay.
A side is on
Yeah, the other side's got a chaplain.
I'm sorry?
The other side's got a chaplain living in there now.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Well.
Cleared up now.
Come on in. There's chairs up here. Come on in.
So I wanted to add that after the night of the ghost tours, my friend Arlene and I were walking home, and there on the other side, there was a light up in the window, and but nobody was in there. This was before anybody lived there,
Okay.
and she actually saw the door like move. I was like, okay, let's run.
Well, okay, I'm sure you were that calm and cool and
where
collected,
the light
right?
was on, and I was like, quick, before they follow us home.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
The Triangle House,
It was interesting.
the Triangle House, you haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah.
It gets better, I promise you. The Triangle House was pretty awesome. So,
Okay, so we decided to go up to the attic in the east side, and like Steve was saying, you haven't seen anything yet, but it didn't happen in the east side attic. So we did do some investigation up there. There was really nothing there, so we decided to go back down to the basement where activity was happening earlier.
That's a good idea, doing it on the staircase here, since
Yep.
don't know what's happening there. Well, that's where I kind of felt that breeze.
Hold on.
yeah.
Hold on.
What's going on? You hear something?
Yeah. There's somebody walking. Is there somebody out there?
No. walking.
No, we're walking from down here. I'm serious.
You have your camera?
Yes. Because that's why I looked up seconds. Somebody down here?
Oh, there it is again.
Yes.
The basement's where it's happened tonight.
It is.
It's one of the basement on the other side. Yeah.
Hello, we're back. Kevin, did you just have a river or something go off?
Yes.
You did?
He was already over here. You heard a growl?
Yes, and I thought it was him, maybe
Just
being
growling.
like right here making a noise, but he's all the way back there.
You heard a growl in here?
Yes, like
Nice.
weird.
I love
Okay.
Okay.
Something about this room.
Yeah.
What happened here?
Is that okay? We're back?
Show us your presents.
If you want us to leave, just line up.
Okay.
Okay. Get out, Scott. You want me to leave? Point to me. Bring it all the way around to me if you want me to leave. And then stop. Okay, stop. No?
Oh, that's
I'll
pretty
step out.
close.
I'll step out.
Do you like the girls?
If you'd like all 7 of us to leave this residence, we need you to give us a clear sign. Kevin.
Sorry. The red ball went off by the back.
On the top of the stairs.
That was the stair one?
Yes.
I think that would be a clear sign.
Sorry.
That's all I need.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay.
And he's definitely his pants.
Sorry. I was not expecting that.
Wow. That was loud.
Do you need to go empty your shorts?
No.
It wasn't like that. It was just like, it wasn't like that. Listen to me now. It was fun.
Play back.
It was like, I was
Hey, you do
facing.
not have to justify yourself. You are totally fine.
I think he ran through a door you really didn't need to run through. He was standing right by the door like,
And that was loud. I mean, you just asked it.
Out the blue,
I mean,
too.
yeah.
No, it was when he said,
And
"Do you want us to
"Do you
leave?"
want us to leave?" And I went, "Ah." Yeah, we're like, oh,
He was
okay.
right behind me.
Yeah, every once in a while, we have, not very often, thank God, but we have to bleep a couple things out. It's, you know, it's one of those moments because the device that went off, they got the room, the small room over here that most of the scene's been in, got a long hallway, and then you got the stairs that goes up that first landing. And that's your only way out of the basement. And that's where the device was that went off. Yeah. So, well, some of us can't fit through the windows. So anyway, yeah, that was interesting. That was very, very interesting.
As you see, Kevin is the sensitive one.
Oh.
Well, the back stairwell where it went off to is where, like, the resident before that, her dog wouldn't use that stairwell at all. So that's, the back stairwell goes up offward like, whereas the front stairwell only goes from the main floor to the second floor, and that is all her dog would use. And I think we had just been talking about that,
Yes.
and there's some ghost stories about from way back when a housekeeper had some experiences on that back stairwell. So we were like, oh, let's go put something there.
Yep. It worked.
Yeah, and that's what we got a few minutes later.
It worked. But yeah, that's, I mean, the question was, I think the statement was, if you want us to leave, you know, you give us a boom right off the bat. And also, I don't want to forget that Yasmin also heard a growl. I don't know, you two were in the same room with her. I think she was closer to the entrance into the hallway.
But yeah, she heard it. We didn't pick it up on her audio, but you know, she's never been on anything like this before, and so I believe her. She heard something that sounded like a growl. And also, just real quick, the furnace was off in that, or yes, or the electricity may have all. No, the electricity wasn't on because the light was on upstairs.
The heat wasn't on.
The heat was not on, so.
And those are all things we take into consideration when we're trying to figure out why something might be paranormal. Just because it's paranormal doesn't mean that it's spirits or anything like that. It could be.
Yeah, good example. There was a freezer or a refrigerator down there plugged in yet, and we would hear it kick on and off. So good example of
sound. So.
Yeah.
And you know, Kevin's our electronic specialist. He's built some of our equipment before. Neil is our building systems specialist. So, because that's what he does at Fort Hays State. And so we look for electrical things, HVAC, those types of things to kind of rule out what could be construed as paranormal. It's something that's perfectly natural. So, and that's kind of the mindset we go into these investigations with. Do you have a question?
Young sir, do you have a question?
What's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you?
Weirdest thing that's ever happened? You know, we were on the road. Yeah, I grew up with him. We were on the road one time, and we stopped at an A&W. Well, let's wait until tonight. Hopefully, or after tonight, when I get home sometime tomorrow. I'll talk about it later. Okay, so I think so. We were down in the basement. They told us to get out, so we got out, and we still had the A side to go over too. And of course, they're almost mirror images of each other. So the next clip is going to be where we go over to Triangle Side A. And it wasn't long before we had walked in that we started hearing some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's live wiring because K2 lit up.
That's cool.
We didn't spend as much time.
Wait, did you hear? What? What? I swear to you, I just heard like a baby.
Yeah, I heard that sound too, but I think
That's cool.
We didn't spend as much time.
Wait, did you hear?
I thought it was like a creaking floorboard, but I wasn't sure. But I did hear what
You
you're talking
heard
about.
it?
I just heard something. Yeah, I just heard something else. Like a cat sound.
It was like a knock.
Yeah. We're all here, so the gang's all here. So.
Yeah. Is there anybody down here that would like to communicate with us?
Are you a little boy? Or a child?
Were you the face in the window that we saw during the ghost tours? We're here to be nice, we're just curious.
While Steve, Kevin, and the ladies from Fort Riley were downstairs in the basement, Scott and Neil were upstairs in the attic.
Did you hear that, Neil?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That was more of a thud than a creak.
Yeah, it was. Is that you, Scott?
Nope.
Who knocked? Need you to knock on the floor or the wall again, whatever it was you knocked on earlier.
Steve,
Yeah.
you want to come here?
What's up, dude? Where are you at?
Right here.
Oh.
We're at the K2 head.
Okay.
So telling you.
What's that?
The energy.
You all right?
I felt an impression. Right here. You want to know?
Let's just sit.
See if
Like right here?
Yeah, I don't know if you. All right, it's going away. Going away. All right, yeah, nice roll there.
Did you scare people during the
Because I almost blacked out.
What?
I'm not kidding you. It was like something completely took just upside.
Feeling is back for me. Are you following me? Oh man, I'm up in the attic of the A side of the triangle house. I just keep getting lit up, chills. Scott and I have been hearing a lot of odd noises, creaks, bangs, and tapping noises. There was another big bang in there just now. I'm gonna hang out up here for just a little bit longer and see what happens. I know there's someone here.
Okay, so several things happened on this one, obviously. So, like I said, almost right away when we went in, we started hearing noises. Laura and I both heard, well, I thought it was a baby. I think she thought it was a baby too. And then almost like, that was a clip that I tried to play for you where you had the sound and then a creaky floorboard. It was hard to, because it was a bam, bam, really quick. Obviously the floorboard's not paranormal, but the sound before that, not sure what that was. And then we heard Yasmin heard a cat. That sounded like a cat. Then we started hearing, I mean, it was like one after another, things were happening. Thuds and bangs. I always thought it was comical because Yasmin's pointing this way. Maggie's pointing this way. It's like, I mean, it's coming from everywhere.
That's how it happens sometimes.
Cool.
You
It does.
can't determine where it's coming from.
Yeah, very hard to determine. Scott and Neil were upstairs. You guys heard some bangs. Scott came downstairs in the basement, left me up there all by himself. You heard that loud bang, and I don't know if you heard it because you didn't really tag it. You didn't really say. It almost sounded like like an exhale that I put in that as well. So I don't know if anybody else caught that. And then, but yeah, that's that particular clip.
Do you want me to talk about what happened to me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course.
I noticed you didn't say anything
about that.
This goes back to one of the middle. Okay, we'll go in the middle. So this happens once in a while. Out of probably, I don't know how many, 40, 50 investigations or more. Probably maybe 2 or 3 I've had this happen. It was just like an overwhelming sensation just came over me. I call it oppression. It might not be oppression. But it was so intense right there in that area that I about blacked out, it felt like. It was very weird. I know there's claims of like maids not wanting to go back in or housekeepers. If somebody was not used to that feeling or knew what it was, I could see how somebody would not want to probably go back into a building because it is a very weird sensation. I can't remember, did you feel this on this one also? You didn't feel it. What was that?
Laura felt something in that house too.
Yes, you did, that's right.
Yes. So what were you feeling exactly? Like, was your breath taken away, or were you?
It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
This is how I explain. It's like something almost just not overtakes your body, but your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, it's not a possession.
No.
This is an oppression.
Yes, it's like it's
different.
over energized feelings, and it's so intense. There was one time I did an investigation at a place where I kept being drawn to this Bible and organ that was donated from this family, and I finally went there and I touched the organ and the Bible, and I couldn't let go. It was a weird sensation. It was kind of like that. It's just like it's overwhelming.
It's
and you don't know what it is.
Yeah. To best describe an oppression would be, because I've experienced an oppression once for sure, maybe twice. It's the emotions of an area or an object that's imprinted in there. So when he was talking about this family Bible, this big family Bible, and this old, 100 and some odd old pump organ, the feelings of the family sitting around and listening to mom play the organ and the good times, reading the Bible or whatever the case may be, those emotions that come from those types of events, that's what an oppression is. So where you kind of absorb that.
Yes,
and
it's energy. Well, it envelops you. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And it is. It's very hard to explain. It is.
So is it a good feeling or a bad feeling?
Neither. It was energy.
So you were standing there and you're kind of bent over.
I was bending over because I felt like I was going to pass out.
Okay.
Yeah,
it was the Bible and the organ. You actually started crying. I mean, literally sobbing.
You're so sensitive.
Yeah,
I know. He's so sensitive.
It is.
They target you.
But you.
And that's like tried to put it like in the closet. You see the little doors that was in one of the rooms?
Mm-hmm.
I get freaked out when I see those rooms. Because I see movies and stuff, And,
Yes.
and I know my grandparents told me they believe in ghosts and stuff. Once those little doors in there, there's some other things happening there. I think when they're scared, they go in the closet. So
Yes.
try and put one of the devices inside the closet.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, Kevin did.
Yeah,
you'll see that. You'll see that. In fact, I think it's the next clip.
That's the scary part.
Yeah.
If I go to a house,
I have those
see a
closets
door,
all over.
I would not
promise you
Yes.
they are never open.
You would never buy those houses.
No.
Yeah,
no.
You let him come to your house.
No.
Tracy volunteers.
Tracy did
So
not
yeah, like you said, if somebody, I could see how that would probably scare somebody, having that kind of a feeling. And it lasted maybe a couple minutes and it went away and I was fine. So.
Wow.
Well, we're not really busy and felt kind of sad.
That's right. So you had that.
Lauren, was that downstairs in the basement?
That was, yeah, after I
Yes.
him, then you guys asked me to stand there and see if I felt anything. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll
That's
try
right.
it,
That's
whatever.
right.
And then I did. I felt really, for just a brief little bit, not even more than a minute, I felt really kind of down. And then all of a sudden I felt dizzy, and then kind of had to catch my step, and then
It's gone.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's hard to explain.
It is, yep, and then all the little hairs on the back of my neck, I'm like, okay, I'm going back upstairs.
All right. So. Oh, I'm sorry.
She has electricity.
Yeah. All right. So, Neil, you want to talk over? I came upstairs to provide you some
I was
reinforcement.
still upstairs by myself, and everybody else was downstairs. Steve came up to join me, and we walked into the attic, and Steve asked a question.
I think this is where the National Geographic magazines were tipped over or thrown about. Is this also where that lady was standing on the second landing that wouldn't let somebody through?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a cleaning lady. That's one of them that quit.
Okay. Who was it that made a mess of the National Geographic magazines? That's not me. I wasn't.
It wasn't me.
Holy crap. Okay, so that was you. Can you tell us your name?
Did you like looking at the magazines? Or did you just like making a mess?
fact, if you're a child, you might think they were kind of fun.
Did you follow us from the basement?
Did you?
Yeah, I think it was gust of wind. I heard that.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I don't think, yeah, I heard, that's exactly what I heard. But is there, I was just outside a few minutes ago.
Was there no wind?
Did some outside shots. I don't think there was any wind.
Okay, yeah, there's nothing.
Tag 1046. Oh!
Well, Steve just walked by a little bit. Okay, yeah, there's no wind. But it sounded to me like I heard that.
Anybody else hear a move?
I didn't hear it.
I heard it.
What was that?
What was that?
It sounded like a little.
Something's went off.
Did you hear that, Neil?
Mm-hmm. Can you make that sound again?
What was that?
That's Scott moving.
No, before that.
Oh.
There's a dunk.
Yeah.
Like a knock almost.
But that might be the me stepping down though. Kind of like that.
No, that sounds too close. Is someone moving?
Yeah, I heard it again too.
Yeah, like twice.
What are you hearing?
I heard it.
Dunk.
Something like that, but it
Yeah.
wasn't,
Yeah.
yeah, it was not close here yet.
So, a few things happened there. Neil and I were up in that attic area, and we're using, who was it that was knocking over or throwing about the magazines, and got a loud tap and then a soft tap right after that. Not sure. I know for a fact though, Neil and I were not moving. Was it the house settling? Could have been. Was it a response? Could have been. I know it's just interesting. It happened right after that question was asked. And then heard a moan, and at first, we thought it was maybe out with the wind outside, but it wasn't windy outside. So not sure what happened. Just a lot of strange bangs and bumps and sounds that emanated from that house that particular night. So,
And, we recognize that house is 100 plus years old, so there's going to be some of that.
built in the early 1900s?
Yeah, I think that was early.
It's about 110, so still pretty darn old. So, our next move, we were done. We covered that house, and I think Yasmin was ready for us to go.
Except for she stayed.
Except she stayed with us the whole night. Our next step. That's right. So we took a little break. We walked back over to the Custer House. It was time to start on the Custer House. Now, we saved what we thought was going to be the best for last because, Custer House is 167 years old, and there's tons and tons of stories. How many have heard about the teddy bear? Okay. All right.
I know that teddy bear very well.
You know it?
I worked there since this will be my 6th summer at
Okay.
the Custer House.
Okay.
Giving tours.
Awesome.
So we're friends.
Awesome. I'm not going to ask you again.
Well, we'll
Okay.
talk later.
So we went to the Custer House. We started on the museum side. What the heck? We had also static cameras set up and audio recorders while we were at the at the Triangle House. At the Custer House, we had cameras set up and rolling the whole time we were over at Triangle. I didn't really catch anything unusual on the cameras while we were there, but there were a couple of interesting things that happened I want to show you. And I probably stepped on the toes.
That's okay. Go for it.
Okay. Sorry. You're fine. Move this along here. Alrighty, on to the Custer House.
motion light went off because of us. Are there any children up here with us this evening?
Periscope's starting to light up there on the fireplace where the teddy bear
That
was.
same one.
Might have been, it may have been from.
But it's flickering like it was before.
Oh, yeah.
So being a little boy, you probably like to play games, right? You like to play hide and go seek?
Did you live here with your mom and dad? Were they in the room next door?
What is your teddy bear's name?
Without the slightest delay, we got an immediate response to our question. Milton.
What is your teddy bear's name?
This is one of the clearest Class A EVPs we ever captured. In fact, it's almost hard to believe nobody heard the voice because it's so clear. Nobody in the room that night uttered a word after we asked what the teddy bear's name was. In fact, we were so shocked to hear this, we contacted Maggie at the Historical and Archaeological Society of Fort Riley to ask if the teddy bear had a name. After checking with Laura and Yasmin, nobody was aware that the teddy bear had a name. It's completely possible that a child who perished in the horrible cholera epidemic 150 years ago revealed the name of their beloved teddy bear from the grave. The very same teddy bear that has been reported countless times for over a century by museum staff, moving on its own.
Would you be more comfortable with just ladies in a room?
Steve.
Yeah.
Can you come over here?
Yeah. What do you got, man? In the chair?
Or next to the chair. It's like more next to the chair, in my opinion. It just happened.
And it went. Just a little tiny stick figure right in front of the chair. Can you do that again? Can you stand in front of the chair for us, please? There.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. Is it there again?
Yeah. Don't know what it is. It could be trying to make it from the chair. See it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had it on there.
Doll. It could be the doll. No, because the doll didn't do it before, right?
It's not the doll.
Is there anything in the rocking chair now?
The doll's there.
The doll's there.
I do have an EMF detector on there too.
Do you want me to take the doll out?
As a group, we are torn on exactly what we're looking at. The stick figure appears to be that of a small child standing next to the rocking chair, a mere 2 feet from the teddy bear sitting on the rocking horse. We're not 100% convinced what we are witnessing is paranormal, but it is certainly unusual. And with time moving on late into the night, we change our focus to the other areas upstairs at the 165-year-old Custer House.
All right, so let's talk about some of those things that happened. We talked about the periscope, and we've talked about this before. I'm just going to kind of explain this. When we walked up there, it was going off, and it was on the mantle. What this does is it actually detects static electricity. So I'm holding it right now, and actually the more static I have, it's going off. So there has to be some kind of form of static electricity around this to detect it. And of course, as everybody saw, it was clear across the room. Nobody was even close to it whatsoever. There was nobody moving. So again, theory, because the theory is anything paranormal, or however you want to call it, is energy. So there's different forms of energy, and this is static. So again, we don't know what was causing this to go off, but there was some form of energy over by the mantle. Okay. And I'm sure everybody heard the next thing, the melting. I don't know about anybody else, but that's pretty clear. That's what we consider a Class A EVP, where you can clearly hear it. This doesn't happen very often. This is very rare. We probably had 2 or 3 over the years of that clear.
I personally felt like it was a woman's voice, like a mother, saying that was the name of their child.
And it definitely, it was a female voice, and it definitely was not any of the ladies with us. It wasn't even close to being that same.
But whether it's the kid, whether it's the mother, something, obviously, said.
Yeah, before we even came to Fort Riley in November, because you've worked 6 years, you said?
This was my 6th summer.
Okay.
Tours.
Did the teddy ever have a name? Were you aware of it?
I don't know its name. I never felt the name for it.
Okay.
The mannequins have names.
The who?
The mannequins.
Oh, the mannequins.
Yes.
They have names. They have names.
Yeah.
Because, well, they do. But no, I've never, but I can tell you that when I first started, the house made all kinds of noises all day long. All day long. It's a lot quieter. I wish you guys would have came a couple years ago when it was making all kinds of noise all day long. But the house is so settled.
You should have called us 2 years ago, Maggie.
She wasn't here that he's here. But yeah, we used to be sitting down there, and we sit on that chair, and we walk in, there's a chair in the corner, with stuff just bubbling. And we would hear people walking up and down the steps. It sounds like people walking upstairs. You know, it was just very loud.
And that's what intrigued us about the most about the Custer House, is that there are so many different stories, and years and years and years, decades, century and a half of stories. So eventually, someday, I think we all decided we're going to put at least an audio recorder in the Custer House tonight. We won't be at the Custer House, but we're going to pop one in there real quick and see what we can capture. Yeah.
So that last part of that clip there was, you saw the little stick figure. We have what's called an SLS camera. Again, it's theory. It actually projects thousands, tens of thousands of little dots, and it tries to form energy. It's technically like what a Kinect does.
It's an Xbox Kinect.
Yeah,
what it is.
But so it tries to figure out what's a form. You know, you take it with a grain of salt. You know, it could have been trying to map out the chair, and it saw it as a person. We don't know. There has been very many times, though, we have had that, and there's been nothing around, and standing next to Steve is a little boy, you know? What causes that? We don't know. So again, it is theory, but, you know, there definitely was something that was mapping out.
Okay, so after that room, we transitioned to the room adjacent to it, which is where a bed is at, and then the old bedroom, so to speak. The claims there are that there would be impressions in the bed after the bed was made and everything was nice and straight and clean. The museum staff would come back up, and then there'd be like an impression of a body that had been laying on that bed. So we wanted to check that out, and this is what happened.
Okay, so who? You feel something?
Yeah, it's cold, like.
It's cold?
Yeah.
Like my thighs got cold.
Yeah, I thought like something.
Yeah. Around my thighs cold.
And I had something tickle here.
Okay.
That's exactly where I saw it in the other one.
Like
right in
right
my
here.
heart. It was like crawling my heart. Is it the chamber pot?
You still feel it?
No, not anymore.
It was time to bring out the SB11 spirit box to see if we could communicate with anyone upstairs in the Custer House.
How many of us are in this room?
I heard five. I heard five.
Holy crap.
Wow. Can you show us how you play the rocking horse?
That's what I thought.
It sounded like Kevin to me too. Can you give us any kind of sign that there is somebody with us?
There's your sign, the periscope.
Wow. You know what's interesting about that? It's right there where the teddy bear was. So it makes you, is there energy from the teddy bear, or is there energy from something trying to grab where they think the teddy bear is? That's what's going on in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. That is a pretty cool chair. Yeah, the antlers.
Notice the orbs flying around the room and one that appears to fly past Scott standing in the doorway? Old School Paranormal is not a big proponent of spirit orbs. It is a bitter cold mid-November evening, so there are no bugs flying around. However, the heating unit was on the entire night, and having carefully studied the rooms prior to and during the investigation, we know there are small air vents in the ceiling throughout the second floor. These are nothing more than dust orbs, invisible to the naked eye in the dark, but very visible to our night vision cameras.
Is that a K2?
Yeah. This whole area is full of EMF.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah, from like here.
All of our EMF meters showed a solid and consistent 7 to 8 milligauss. The EPA recommends that you limit your exposure to no more than 2.5 milligauss. EMF can come from a wide variety of sources, such as appliances, cell phones, and computers, and constant exposure to high EMFs can cause anxiety, hallucinations, headaches, fatigue, and more.
It goes from about where you're at to about halfway through this door here, and then across, and then about where the barrier is there, and it just kind of follows that. But this whole inside of here.
Sources of that haven't had that much EMF. Yeah, that takes a lot.
You think that is all running underneath there?
Well, he said that it looks like there is a conduit that runs underneath there, but
it stops.
Yeah, but this far, where it's...
It could be just a shielding ain't very good because it's old wiring, possibly.
It's all been updated, Kevin. So.
That's center. And the other side didn't do that at all.
Okay. So, a lot of things happened. We got number 5 over the spirit box. If you're not sure what the spirit box is, it's a modified radio in a way that cycles through all either FM or AM frequencies very, very quickly. It just continually cycles through it. And the theory, as Scott was alluding to before, the theory behind it is it creates a white noise, and white noise is thought to enable a spirit to communicate, vocally communicate through the white noise. So that's what that does. It creates that white noise. We picked up number 5. We picked up Kevin. So we picked up. You think so? That particular session, but I know that Maggie was. I know Yasmin, but you had a weird sensation.
That was over at side A.
Oh, that was on the other side. Okay.
It was touching my hair.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you guys ask about the dog? like the doll in the drawer's name?
We did not.
That is creepy.
That's the creepiest doll.
That's the creepiest
I
doll.
don't support her unless I have to.
You know what? It's one of those things where if the doll was in the drawer, I'm sure, that night, and I think we probably just...
Back in the drawer. It is always in the drawer.
You don't take her out of the drawer.
You don't take it out of the drawer.
We're lucky to take
I
it
think-
out of the drawer. We should take her out of the drawer tonight.
No.
All right, who's all in?
Very old and very fragile and just creepy.
It is creepy.
Well, I think we kind of forgot about it, to be honest.
Tracy's talking. Spend the night.
Stop it! And I work in the Custer House, and I don't.
So you saw the little clip about the orbs. We're not saying, because I know there are people that are huge believers in spirit orbs, and you know, there's nothing wrong with that. Our personal belief is that most of the time it's going to be bugs, dust, water droplets, something along those lines. And, yeah, and you know, with the little tiny vents, and they were all over. You know, there are several of them up there in the Custer House, and with the air blowing through, and it's a museum. It's a 165-year-old building. I don't care how much dust, you're still going to have dust, right? And so that air moving out of those vents is going to move that dust around. And night vision cameras with infrared lights will pick up those a lot more. Trust me. You don't want to clean your house and then get yourself a night vision camera.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you're going to be like, my house is still dirty. It just doesn't. That's just one of the things about it. So we're not huge, but we have seen some things that are like, whoa, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So
who was it that said Kevin?
I came over the spirit box. Just a quick Kevin. And
did you say yes?
I can't remember how I responded.
I don't know. I think you probably went downstairs.
Probably. I probably went in head. No, I also don't remember how I responded to that.
So y'all didn't try and say yes?
I'm guessing we probably did.
That's not the first time. Yeah, I'm sure that we probably would have.
But we didn't probably get any kind of response.
Right, build on that. Right.
Yeah,
There's an additional response.
So much stuff happens some nights.
Calls my name, I'm going to say, what?
Well, yeah. There's a lot of stuff on that in the room floor when I did this, even for the reveal as well. So, the next step.
Hey, Steve, did you want to talk about the K2?
Yes, K2. So we went downstairs. And I'm sure if you've ever been in the Custer House, you go downstairs, and in the dining room area is it's kind of roped off, and in that section there is an incredible amount of EMF, electromagnetic frequency, and that, as the video said, that is stuff, electricity, energy that's emitted from refrigerators, computers, microwaves. A little bit there.
So in that middle part there, it was just nonstop. It was just constant.
It was high. It was a very high level, and we couldn't figure out where it was coming from.
It's definitely not.
Say it could mess with your cell phones and stuff?
Yes.
Because didn't you say that your cell phone is messed up?
My first cell phone. The first summer I worked there, my cell phone just died. They would randomly call people.
All right. I could see that.
Because I would have it in there, and I would think, I'm like, I didn't call you. Like, hello, almost like a punch out, but it's sitting on a table. I had to get a new cell phone because it would just randomly call people.
But we're not sure where that EMF is coming from because Neil, being our building systems guy, went downstairs and looked like
There's a lot of electrical stuff down there, but everything's been upgraded. It's all shielded. And I don't know. We just
Remember, the heater vents are all in the floor also.
Right. Yeah, and that could very well be. Without ripping up floorboards, I don't think that. Or crawling into the. We're sure that it's explainable. We just don't know. Yeah, exactly. And that could be either. You know, some of the claims are that people hear or see things coming down the stairs. Some people, one of the very first claims was that I don't remember who it was, but they saw what looked like an old 19th century soldier leaning on the fireplace mantle and things like that. EMF can cause that. If you're exposed to it long enough, it'll cause those hallucinations. It'll cause headaches. We've been in an investigation before where up in Iowa, where the wiring had not been shielded. It was an incredible amount of EMF up there. In fact, I started getting sick myself, and I know that some of these other guys were getting headaches. That's what EMF causes if you're exposed to it.
And that's why we turn off all of our cell phones, because we make sure we're always on airplane mode, because that messes with all of our equipment. So.
Yep. Awesome. Okay, final step is the B side. That's the hassle. Yes, sir.
Quick question. When he was bended over at like the first house, would that be caused by the EMF?
There was no EMF where we did do it.
That's a great question, though.
Yeah.
Not because you're my kid, but that's a great question. Okay. Because EMF can cause that. And I guess we really haven't gone into detail about it, but we do EMF sweeps wherever we go. Because if we detect right off the bat that there's going to be a high level of EMF, then we know. We did not check it though downstairs at the Custer House, and that's why we were kind of caught off guard. Like, what the heck's going on here?
Yeah, when one of those events happens, like to me or Steve or whoever, that's like the first thing we do. We get an EMF meter right there to see if there is energy or EMF. So, good question. Yep.
Okay, so the final step is the B side. That's the Hasker side of it. A couple of interesting things happen with this, so we're going to let you watch it real quick. Who was it that scared the babysitters?
Oh, we got a little activity over here.
Oh, we heard that one.
Look.
Can you light that up again, please? Is there somebody else in here with us? So is somebody here that used to maybe live here? Whoa. Wow, did you see that?
Yeah.
Is there anyone with us up here this evening? This morning?
Yes. Yes. Whoever just said yes, what is your name? How many of us are in this room? Can you tell us that? No. No. Did you hear that? No. Okay.
Do you know Laura and I?
Is that a female? Yeah, I thought so.
Is there a female here?
Yes. All right, so a few things here. We got some interesting responses on our spirit box, but that by that time it was about 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, remember we are old school and we had a 2-hour drive home. Plus, we had to get all our equipment picked up and so forth. So we still had a ways to go. I know Maggie was tired, Laura, I'm sure you were tired. We were just all ready to call it a night. What's that?
There's a bed right there.
Look, depression. Yeah. So yeah, that kind of wrapped up the investigation. So what I want to do is, real quick, just play you about a 90-second closer, and then we'll be around for a little bit. If you have any questions, you want to check out some of the equipment that we use. We'll be here. We're not going anywhere for a while. We'll be on base all day.
Where are you going tonight?
Where are we going tonight, Maggie? Are we releasing that information?
Yeah, I think it's fine. We're going to go to Building 500, which is Garrison headquarters, which was the second hospital on post, specifically the morgue area, and then First Territorial Capital.
Yep. So, yeah, nobody's ever been in. No investigator's ever been in either one of those. So.
And the morgue is creepy.
Right. We like creepy.
I'll be behind you.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what's the creep? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's the creep factor of the morgue?
Knowing the history of it, it's about a 7 or an 8 when you're down there by yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So yeah, that's where we'll be tonight. So let me play this clip for you real quick, and then we'll stick around for a few.
It was nothing short of an honor to be asked by Fort Riley to investigate years of paranormal activity on their historic main post. To walk where thousands of the nation's bravest men and women have walked cannot be put into words. Paranormal activity is a fickle thing. As in the Custer House, with the exception of the ghostly child voice, paranormal activity can carry a bad case of stage fright, flat out refusing to perform for the public, opting instead to reveal its true nature in its own time, whether people of this world are there or not. Then there are times that paranormal activity is so active that it's literally screaming for attention, like at the Triangle House. Since the filming of our investigation in November of 2018, many former residents have come forward with multiple claims of activity. It seems those claims matched up with what our team experienced that night. Multiple voices, knocks, noises, and warnings to leave. Our hope is that future subsequent investigations will help us yield more answers than questions. Until then, whoever still lingers at Fort Riley, and for whatever reason, will remain a mystery, as it has for the past 150 years.
So that's it. We want to thank the awesome people at Hasper. It's been a great partnership. We've really enjoyed working with them, and this is the second one. We hope it's not the last one, but we'll see. We want to thank the Garrison Command. We want to thank the 1st Infantry. I don't have my notes in front of me. I'm just kind of going off. Yeah. I don't know if we're missing anybody or not, but we want to thank the men and women of the armed forces for your service to our country and their families as well. So thank you. It was fun. So we're going to be around. We're going to stick around for a little bit. If you have any questions.
Yeah, you have any
Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to, just in case.
Yes.
Wait. Before you ask questions. Yeah, before we ask questions.
Okay.
We wanted to thank you guys for coming out. So we have Custer House.
Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you. Wow. Thank you.
There you go.
That is very cool. Wow.
Bears in the window or anything like
That is
I do want to say real quick.
Did you make them a doll?
This will probably be the last time that Laura and Maggie and all 4 of us get to work together to coordinate this. So We appreciate you.
We do too. Once in a lifetime experience.
Well, we'll go to other bases, so we'll let you know if we hear
Yeah,
the other bases.
We'll travel.
On our way.
You should probably, because I was in Virginia and it was curious to me. There's a part I don't know exactly where, but there's a house there. It looks so like creepy. It's very small. They said it's renovated, but it's there.
And we're at
Virginia.
Virginia.
For use.
For use.
Yeah, that area is people too.
We'd love to. We'd love to expand east a little bit.
We should do all the military bases.
Oh,
yeah,
there we go.
We would
There we
love
go.
that.
Yes, we would like to be the official. The
military goes.
So if anybody can put in a good word for us, we'd appreciate that.